And now it's my honor to ask Don Bullins, who will be presenting the Alumni Award for Outstanding Achievement in the field of education. Don?
Reasonable facsimile. To be a distinguished alumnus of Worcester State University is to follow some accomplished people. We've had business leaders, writers, industrialists, philanthropists, and educators who got their start on this campus. Joe Klimavich, a 1978 graduate, left our campus and created a public relations company and began a career in marketing, public relations, and advertising. He made himself a presence in his community as well. He served as a Brookfield selectman. He's a force in many professional organizations and gave so much of his time and talent to the Boy Scouts of America. Joe came to Worcester State 15 years ago, and I made a smart choice of hiring him as an adjunct professor. I need to let the president know that I do make smart choices from time to time. Joe may serve part-time, but his commitment to the students in the university is full-time. Joe's a great teacher. Students give him great rave reviews for his dynamic style. In classes, they're always made to feel they have something to contribute. Student evaluations often note their appreciation for Joe's effective combination of theory and the authentic real-world experience which enriches his class. And that's so important here at Worcester State, to get that kind of a combination where we can have faculty who actually can draw on those kind of experiences. And I know Joe does that, and I know several other students are here tonight and they could testify to that as well. Joe Klimavich came to our campus in 1974, and he's contributed to the Worcester State University since his arrival. He continues to maintain his connection to the university, even adding his voice to the campus chorale. Maybe he'll sing a song a little later for everyone. We're fortunate to have enjoyed the talent and dedication of Joe Klimavich as part of the university community. When I was being introduced to some folks earlier by Joe's wife, Barbara, she said, "I'd like you to meet Joe's boss." I had to look around because I wasn't sure who Joe's boss was. I may have started off as Joe's boss, but I am Joe's colleague, and I'm proud to be his colleague. Joe.
That's very nice. Thank you very much, Don. Thank you, President Maloney, and thank you to the Alumni Association. I want to thank my wife, Barbara, and my sister, Donna, and Jeannie for being with us this evening, and all of my friends and former students. I've always believed that life has a plan for us, and Worcester State has been an important part of that plan for me. As a young college student here, I had an opportunity to learn from some really remarkable professors. Rose Guerin Heroyan arranged for me to participate in the statewide pilot for Project Head Start. And she later invited me to illustrate the visual language test that she used as the basis for her doctoral thesis. Richard Callahan, another of my communication disorders professors, taught me that if I was going to work with special education students, I'd better develop a good sense of humor. And he was right. Some still say that I don't have a great sense of humor, but I don't know, I'm working on it. Professor Sullivan, my English comp professor, gave me a lifelong appreciation for the poetry of Robert Frost. This was a gentleman who had gotten his degree at a college in Vermont down the road from where Frost had his farm. And attending his class every day was like listening to a lecture from Robert Frost. It was the most amazing experience. After graduation, I worked for a while as a speech and language pathologist, and that gave me the opportunity to test my wings at teaching, but life and Proposition 2.5 had other ideas for me, and I soon switched careers. Working as a hospital PR director, I started accumulating the kinds of experiences that I would later share with my college students, like the time a gunman took over our emergency room and took 8 of our employees hostage. In my next job, about a year into the job, my CEO was indicted as a racketeer and later imprisoned. I really got to put my crisis communication skills to work. Those are the kinds of experiences that I think gave me the preparation to teach public relations and to be able to share those stories with my students. When I finished my master's degree and started teaching in the graduate program at Clark, I met Don Bolins, and he opened the door to my teaching here at Worcester State. I've enjoyed helping to develop the next generation of PR and communication professionals and encouraging in them the ethical instincts and good judgment that distinguishes true professionals from everyday practitioners. There are 4 key principles that are recurring themes in all of the courses I've taught here at Worcester State. One is the principle of two-way communication. Another is the value of relationships. A third is the need to be able to communicate in a diverse society. And the last and most important is that being a good writer is central to everything else that we do. All of these principles were in active play when it came to interacting with my students here at Worcester State. In the process of sharing what I knew with them, they have kept me connected to what was happening in the worlds of technology, communication, music, social media. I have a deep appreciation for the high level of commitment and sacrifice exhibited by my students in the course of pursuing their education. Many of them work part-time jobs. Probably more of them work full-time jobs. And yet my 8:30 classes were always full, 95%, 98% every day. It was amazing. It is amazing. I hope that the respect that I've shown my students throughout the years is the reason they've given so much back to me. They say you can measure a man's character by the company that he keeps. So before I close, I'd just like to acknowledge some of my former students who have joined us here this evening. They're sitting over here in this area. Michael Sharon, who is now Associate Executive Director of Membership at the Mass Society of Optometrists. Mike, please. The Mass Society of Optometrists, and he has concluded his master's degree here at Worcester State. He's one of the young men that you'll be awarding a degree to later this week. Trevor Hardy and James Forkey, guys. Both recent graduates, both software engineers at EMC, and both presently pursuing their master's degree at WPI. I'm especially proud of these 2 guys because this is the team that I employed to develop my mobile banking app at Hometown Bank, where I am a communication director now. And we use their application every day. Catherine Pryor, a health insurance specialist with Fallon Health Plan. Catherine came to intern with us at Hometown Bank, and she's responsible for developing our teen banking product, which we still make available to our teen customers. So thanks, Catherine. John Dabineau, U.S. Marine. And say hi, John. When I was teaching a public speaking course, John delivered the most poignant tribute speech I've heard before or since. It was shortly after 9/11. John's dad had just retired from the Pentagon when it was hit. And he was the only guy who could go back and put it all back together. And this is what John chose as a subject matter for his tribute speech, and there was not a dry eye in the house. Morgan Tianara, right here. Morgan is Morgan's vice president of the Worcester State Chorale. He's a fellow bass, we sing together. And he's also the student who enrolled in my interpersonal communication course, even though he didn't need the credits. He heard it was a good course and he just wanted to take it, and against the advice of his advisor, I believe, he took the course anyway. And Tom Dwyer, a real comedian. No, seriously, he's a professional comedian. Tom promised he'd clap me off the stage if I went past my 3 minutes. And I'm glad you didn't do that, Tom. In closing, let me just say that I wouldn't be here without the love and support of my wife, Barbara. And my daughter, Alex, who is here via FaceTime. Alex is living and working in her dream out in Los Angeles, working in the film and television industry. And very proud of you, honey. Okay, this honor is just the icing on the cake. The real honor has been being associated with all of you guys. And now get back out there and change the way the world works.